Again. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Sports. Been on a business trip for about 3 days now and have not been able to make a Sideline Sports video. I'm out here in Arizona. If you look behind me, there's just a beautiful golf course. And I thought, hey, let's start talking about Warriors right now after a couple games. Remember, hit the like. Hit the subscribe on the channel, guys. We're growing massively. We have over 7,000 subscribers now. Thank you out there for following me on the journey. And I just hope you keep coming with me. It's going to be a fun ride, and we're going to have more guests coming down the road. I'll let you know who that's going to be soon enough. Hopefully some returning ones, hopefully some new ones. But I'll let you know. So for now, let's just talk a little bit about the Warriors and the way they're playing in the last couple of games. In the past, this same kind of thing go on, right? In the first 10 games of the season, you could see that the Warriors were playing pretty good basketball, winning 10 out of the first 12 games they played, and then they were going down in a downward spiral, inconsistencies across the board, and then they trade for Jimmy Butler, and things change, and they start winning again, and they won about 15 out of the last 18 games or so. But big problem is now I'm starting to see without Steph Curry, they're not coming together as a group and making up for the loss. And what's weird about this is that in previous games where Steph Curry was missing, a lot of times the Warriors played better than with him, probably because they were relying on him a little bit too much. But the bottom line is that right now that's not happening. And you can just see the inconsistencies with the players. There's no doubt about it. If you just take a look at last night's game, the defense was horrible, which is number one, just a bad start to it, because if you don't have offense, you have to at least have defense to keep you in the game. They didn't have that. So Green and Butler were kind of nowhere to be found. And then on top of that, you also have guys who are just not consistent enough to maybe play on a championship type team like this Warriors team. You have guys like Pajemski who are coming together but had a bad night last night, couldn't hit a three-pointer to save his life. You've got other players out there. JK is still not the real deal, guys. I don't care what anybody says. He is not worth, $35 million a year right now. It's just not the case. He's got to go out there and prove it, and he's not proving it. It's inconsistent at best with him. And we can go down the line and we can talk about other players like that too. Moody was coming up. He's still playing all right, but he's not, again, an inconsistent player. Nobody could hit a three-point shot. And the big thing about this Warrior team when they get down is that if they're not hitting three-pointers, they keep shooting three-pointers until it starts to come together, and some games it just never does. And the biggest problem is that when it never does, they don't just drive to the hoop, they don't look for fouls, they don't try to get to the line. They haven't done that in the last couple of games, where in recent history they have. So they've got to be more consistent in the way that they play. Maybe it's coaching a little bit. I'm not really sure. I don't want to say it's coaching. Steve Kerr really hasn't messed with the lineup much, but hey guys, we can change our analytics on this every other game, because as the season goes on, we get a bigger sample size, and we're getting towards the end, and we see that the Warriors have some glaring issues. They don't have height, so when they go against taller teams, they feel like they have to live and die at the three-point line. And maybe to some respect they do, but they've got to get smarter about going in, drawing fouls, and getting to the line more against bigger teams like that. That's going to make the difference between winning and losing, and it showed against the Bucks. Didn't show very well against the Nuggets because they didn't play well against the Nuggets. I don't think that's a big sample size right there that they should take. When you're playing against a team like the Nuggets and you're playing poorly, they can make you look way worse than you really are. So the bottom line is going into the playoffs, we got about 13 games, 12 games left, guys. They've got to start to get their act together and decide what this team really is. You can watch them on one night and they can look like a team that can vie for a finals. And then you can watch them another night and wonder how they're even close to the playoffs. Jimmy Butler's not going to be he's helped a lot, but he alone cannot bring this team to a finals this year, the way it's constructed, if everybody else doesn't buy in. So it may not be like a We Believe team of 2010. They may not have that mantra, but at the end of the day, that is what it is. You don't win a finals without a group effort, whether it be Steph Curry, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, or anybody else. They can't do it on their own. Look at when the Warriors beat the Cavaliers so many times when LeBron James was on the other side of that. Could he will that team to win the finals against the Warriors when everybody thought he should have? No, because it's a team effort. You know, he got one out of those. He got one out of three. So it's really all about coming together as a team. Can these bench players step up? Let's look at this. In the first two quarters of that game last night, the starting lineup only scored 10 points. 10 points, guys. They should have had 10 points in the first 4 minutes of that game alone. But the whole starting lineup only had 10 points at halftime, something like that. The bench came up and played better than the starters. That's not saying that they played well, because they didn't really play well. But that just goes to show you the starters have to come in, and that goes to like Moody, a guy who's in the starting lineup, and other players that can step up and help the starters like Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler, because they can't do it on their own. So anyway, guys, overall, not a great 2 games on the road. It's fine, but let's just keep watching them, move on, see how they do in the next game. It's very close. They're only a half game up in the 6th seed, and having the 6th seed is a very, very important spot to be in. You don't want to be in the play-in if you don't have to be. I've been saying that for the last week and a half or so, because they may drop down to 7 or 8 seed. You never know. They might. If they do, it's not the end of the world, because we all know you get 2 games to get yourself into the playoffs at that point, but you don't get rest either. So you'd rather be in that 6th seed spot if you could be. And so this is going to be a dead heat all the way down to the end. I'm going to be watching it, and we'll talk more about that along the way, guys. But I appreciate you watching, and we'll see where it goes. But tough loss against the Heat, where I thought they had a good chance of winning that game. Didn't go their way. Let's see what happens in the next one. And just keep watching, guys. And remember, hard work beats talent when talent don't work. See you in the next one.